Alright everybody, so it's been a while since I posted a video, but I wanted to get on here, maybe share this with some people, and maybe somebody else will find it helpful. I had a customer call, and she was asking about removing her riser pipe extensions, or just removing different things out of the ground, like you know, put extensions on a pipe, you want to pull them out or whatever, down in your sprinkler head. I think there's a picture on here, but essentially, right, go down and dig in there and pull out some extra riser, extra piece of pipe, whatever you need to do to pull out of the ground without digging up all of that ground and disturbing that soil. So we sell the SRT, which lets you do the sprinkler head, but her problem was her risers are down deeper in the ground than this little orbit handle is. I think that's, honestly looking at it, where a lot of people are going to be at, because that handle's not very long, and a 6-inch sprinkler head pretty much covers that whole handle. So I see where she's coming from, and especially if you got something a little deeper. So I want to make this real quick. I'm going to send it to her, and then if anybody else stumbles upon this video and finds it helpful, then hey, it is worth it. So basically, the way this works, and I'll go ahead and open up this and maybe get a little more. Like I said, I came up with this earlier. I ended up digging around at Home Depot a little bit, seeing what I could figure out. But basically the idea is, and this is the main show, Home Depot was out of just the orbit handles, so I picked up a kit, which was like another $3 or $4, and you got a screwdriver and pipe cutters. But anyway, put that aside. So basically what the deal is you got this little tool right here, and you screw this piece on, and I'm not going to go all the way, it's kind of bad threads, but anyway, basically, and you put that down the hole, and it's got so it's got, you know, teeth on there, and it'll let you undo your riser out of the ground, right? Come back up. Well, like I say, what her issue is, and what I feel like a lot of people are going to run into, is that's just not very long. So my initial idea, and that's what I initially told her, is that, hey, this is just threads. If I can get this booger off of here. So I said, well, that just threads on there. Like, hey, just get you a piece of all thread, a coupling nut. You'll be rocking and rolling, you know, make it however long you want. Well, that doesn't work, because guess what? This is a left-handed thread. So me being a knucklehead just said, oh yeah, buy this and this and you'll be good to go. And she called back today and said, no, I don't think it's going to work, buddy. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll come up with something else. So I went and picked this up and fumbled around at Home Depot a little bit and came up with a solution. So essentially what my solution is if you look at the top of this, just looks like a bolt head. Just looks pretty darn close. So I went over to the socket aisle, and turns out the smaller for the 1/2-inch risers, just 12mm fits it pretty well. So what my idea is, picked up some JB Weld. My idea is I'm going to come inside here, inside this socket, scuff this up a little bit, so it's not, you see it's nice and shiny, there's no, nothing for that JB Weld to grab onto. I'm going to scuff that up with some 150 grit sandpaper. I'm going to scuff this up as well, just get it nice and clean. And I'm going to JB Weld this socket on top of here. And what that'll allow me to do, let me grab my, extension. Alright, I'm back. So essentially what my idea is that'll allow you to turn that into a 3/8 drive socket. Or you can even do quarter if you want to pick up a 1/4 inch. I mean, 12mm, pretty standard size. You can pick it up in a 1/4 inch drive. But basically, what my idea is you take that socket and then you can just snap an extension down in there. Now this is just for reference. You can buy these extensions as long as you want. I mean, you can get these things 2 foot long, 3 foot long. And you can pop that extension down in there. And if you need to do multiple extensions, you can pop multiple extensions on it. And eventually just put your socket head on there, and you use that to drop down in your hole, and that'll basically be as long as you want it to be. Right here I've got, you know, probably as much as, I've even got more than a stupid orbit one, just my 2 short extensions, but I got a long extension around here somewhere if I can find it. But basically, you can make that as long as you want. And so, if you're worried about, so what my next question is, well, what if this socket pops out, right? What if this extension pops out? My answer to that is, go down to your local Harbor Freight or cheap Chinese store and buy the cheapest extension you can find that's long as you want, and you just JB Weld that into that socket. And so you basically JB Weld everything together, and it should never come apart. So anyways, that's kind of my idea, is, and I'm not going to go ahead and do it all right now. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of show you what my idea is, but that's my idea, is scuff it all up, put some JB Weld on there, then take your extension. Like I say, if you want to glue it all together and be sure nothing's ever going to come apart, go ahead and JB Weld your extension in there. Just do the same thing. Take some 150 grit sandpaper, scuff it up a little bit, or whatever you got. I mean, it doesn't have to be 150, 60, 80, just anything to put some scratches in there. And it's as long as you basically want it to be. And then pick up, like I say, however long extension, and then just put your ratchet right on top. So anyway, that's my idea. Hope it helps somebody, and I can send this your way. Call me earlier, and we'll see what you can do with it.